Over 54 million Americans suffer from arthritis, and the prevalence rises sharply to over 1 in 4 after the age of 60. According to many people, I take medication regularly, but my joints are still swollen and painful, making it difficult to walk, especially on rainy days. The truth is that, in addition to age and illness, the silent culprits that exacerbate arthritis are the familiar foods we eat every day. And they're frequently not the foods you might think. Welcome to Bon's Senior Health Channel. I'm Bon, and I'll be with you to dispel myths and offer straightforward, scientific solutions that can make your golden years healthier and more self-assured. In this video, we'll look at the top 15 foods that people with arthritis should avoid since they might exacerbate their pain and weaken their joints. If you keep reading, I'll reveal another nutritional golden rule to manage joint pain and strengthen and flex your joints. Many individuals are unaware that processed meats like ham and sausages might worsen arthritis. Many people favor ham and sausage for simple breakfasts and snacks. These foods are one of the silent enemies of arthritis sufferers since they often include saturated fats, salt, and preservatives, which can trigger inflammation. Inflammation causes joint discomfort, swelling, and stiffness, especially in weight-bearing joints like the lower back, hips, and knees. Too much saturated fat causes inflammation and arthritic symptoms by releasing pro-inflammatory cytokines from immune cells. AGs are also produced by smoking, roasting, and frying meat. Cell damage, oxidative stress, and inflammation are caused by AGs. They may affect joints, cardiovascular health, and general well-being. Regularly eating processed meats increases salt intake. The body retains water when salt intake is high, swelling joint tissues and causing stiffness and pain. Despite their great taste, eating ham or sausages frequently can worsen arthritis symptoms. Cut back on processed meats to protect joints and prevent inflammation. For healthier protein, try lean chicken, omega-3 rich fish, eggs, or lentils. These meals provide nutrients, joint health, a balanced inflammatory response, and a healthier life. Let's look at deep-fried meals like chips, chicken, and other delicacies, which many people enjoy but are actually bad for arthritis. Deep-fried foods like chicken, chips, and other fried delicacies are arthritis sufferers' silent enemies, despite their convenience and taste. High-temperature cooking produces AGs and trans fats. Oxidative stress and inflammatory reactions from these substances harm joint cells and tissues, worsening pain and stiffness. Most fried foods are high in salt, which retains water and swells joint tissues. Combining this with bad fats might raise pro-inflammatory cytokines, worsening arthritic symptoms and slowing healing. Weight gain from eating fried foods often strains weight-bearing joints like the knees, hips, and lower spine, worsening inflammation. Eat less deep-fried meals to minimize inflammation and protect joints. Try roasted, steamed, or boiled items using canola or olive oil, leafy greens, fresh fruits, nuts, and whole grains boost health and reduce inflammation. A balanced diet with less fried food can improve quality of life, joint pain, and fluid movement. Let's move on to discuss processed sauces like mayonnaise, canned tomato sauces, and ready-to-use dressings, a food type that many people utilize to enhance flavor, but that subtly increases the chance of developing arthritis. Because of their ease of use and capacity to improve food flavor, processed sauces like mayonnaise, canned tomato sauces, and ready-to-use dressings are widely used. They are, nevertheless, among the culprits that can exacerbate inflammation in those who have arthritis. In addition to a variety of chemicals and preservatives, these items frequently have high concentrations of sugar, salt, and harmful fats. These substances have the ability to cause the body to release pro-inflammatory cytokines, which can exacerbate joint pain, stiffness, and swelling. Specifically, while omega-6 fatty acids are abundant in a lot of processed sauces, the body may become irritated if omega-3 fatty acids are not balanced, which can exacerbate joint inflammation. Furthermore, too much salt and sugar can lead to water retention, oxidative stress, and joint discomfort, particularly in the lower back, hips, and knees. Regular use of processed sauces raises the chance of developing other health problems by having an adverse effect on digestive and cardiovascular health, in addition to directly affecting joint health. Advice: limit or stay away from processed sauces to protect your joints and lessen inflammation. Instead, think about creating your own sauces at home with natural spices, vinegar, olive oil, and herbs. By reducing sugar, salt, and bad fats and including natural minerals and antioxidants, you can assist the reduction of inflammation and enhance joint health. Let's now discuss soda and other sugary beverages, which are widely consumed but subtly increase the risk of joint inflammation. Unbeknownst to most, a variety of drinks we often drink for refreshment, such as soda and sweetened fruit juices, might subtly exacerbate arthritis. They are high in sugar, particularly fructose, which causes the body to create pro-inflammatory cytokines, which are substances that make joints swell, hurt, and stiffen. In addition to causing weight gain, too much sugar can exacerbate inflammatory symptoms and lengthen recovery time by placing extra strain on weight-bearing joints like the spine, hips, and knees. Recent research shows that sugary drinks enhance uric acid levels, which increases the risk of gout, a severe and sudden onset arthritis. Ages are also formed during sugar metabolism. By boosting oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, these drugs worsen arthritic symptoms, impede mobility, and destroy cells and joint tissues. These drinks can affect joints, body weight, metabolic function, and cardiovascular health over time, increasing the risk of related health disorders. This is especially important for elderly persons and those with osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis. Limit drinks and sugary fruit juices. Go for water, herbal teas, or sugar-free fruit juices. Weight control, inflammatory reactions, joint pressure, cardiovascular health, and hydration are improved by these choices. A healthy lifestyle and balanced diet can improve your quality of life, joint pain, and mobility. After limiting sugary drinks to minimize inflammation, it's important to look at common foods that alter blood sugar and promote inflammation. White bread illustrates this. Daily consumption of refined carbohydrates can subtly impact joint health. After being digested, they cause swelling, discomfort, and stiffness by rapidly increasing blood sugar and inducing the creation of inflammatory chemicals. Walking, climbing stairs, and carrying out daily tasks may become increasingly challenging as a result. In addition to causing weight gain and insulin resistance, frequent consumption of refined carbohydrates can exacerbate inflammation and pain by placing additional strain on weight-bearing joints such as the spine, hips, and knees. According to recent research, Diets heavy in refined carbohydrates lack the anti-inflammatory properties of whole grains and are instead linked to elevated levels of inflammatory markers. Fiber, vitamins, and minerals found in whole grain diets support immunological balance and lower C-reactive protein, CRP, an inflammatory marker that is frequently raised in people with arthritis. In the absence of essential nutrients, the body may become unbalanced and inflammatory reactions may worsen, thereby exacerbating the symptoms of arthritis. A balanced diet that emphasizes whole grains along with fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats can help regulate inflammation, lower pain, increase mobility, and improve overall quality of life. Making these dietary adjustments gradually preserves joint health, promotes general well-being, helps one maintain a healthy weight, and lowers the chance of developing link disorders. After discussing the impact of refined carbs on inflammation and joint health, it's critical to focus on foods like bacon that are high in saturated fats and are frequently included in daily meals. These foods can subtly exacerbate joint stiffness and inflammation. Some foods high in saturated fat, which are frequently consumed for their flavor, can have a minor but significant effect on joint health. Frequent ingestion promotes the synthesis of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which are chemicals that directly cause inflammation and result in joint discomfort, stiffness, and edema. In addition to causing chronic pain, this also reduces mobility, making daily chores like walking, climbing stairs, and other activities more taxing and challenging. Advanced glycation, end products ages, which are produced during the processing of these high saturated fat diets, also encourage oxidative stress and chronic inflammation in the body. Long-term buildup of these substances can impair immunological and cardiovascular health while exacerbating the symptoms of arthritis. Furthermore, the high salt content that these meals frequently include can cause fluid retention, which can exacerbate discomfort and cause swelling in the joints, making it more difficult for the body to control inflammatory reactions. High consumption of ages and saturated fats has been linked to increased inflammatory markers, particularly in people with arthritis, according to research. In addition to having an effect on the joints, these side effects can also lead to weight gain, which puts more strain on weight-bearing joints and feeds a vicious cycle of pain, inflammation, and decreased mobility. Choose better protein sources such lean meats, plant-based foods, or omega-3 rich fish in place of these foods on a regular basis. You should also consume a balanced diet full of fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats. This method supports general health, lowers inflammation, eases joint pain, increases mobility, helps maintain a healthy weight, and gives you more energy for everyday tasks. In addition to the impact of high saturated fat diets on joint inflammation, processed and fried snacks like French fries should also be considered because they are enticing but might exacerbate inflammatory reactions and put additional strain on weight-bearing joints. Despite their visual appeal and deliciousness, fried meals frequently include high amounts of salt, trans fats, and recycled oils, all of which can exacerbate the body's inflammatory reactions. Regular ingestion causes pro-inflammatory cytokines to be produced, which results in stiff, painful, and swollen joints. For weight-bearing joints like the knees, hips, and spine which experience additional strain from inflammation and possible weight gain, this is especially troublesome. Furthermore, frying at high temperatures produces advanced glycation end products ages, which exacerbate chronic inflammatory responses and oxidative stress. French fries are among the foods that can exacerbate the symptoms of arthritis while also having an adverse effect on cardiovascular and immunological health due to their high salt content, trans fats, and ages. According to studies, eating fried and fatty meals raises inflammatory marker levels, causes weight gain, and puts additional strain on joints, all of which exacerbate pain and suffering. Therefore, limiting the consumption of fried meals is essential for reducing inflammation and safeguarding joint health. Instead of frying, opt for healthier cooking methods such as baking, steaming, or pan-searing with less oil, and give priority to meals that are high in fiber, vitamins, and healthy fats. By reducing inflammation, alleviating joint pain, and enhancing mobility, among other benefits, this approach contributes to the improvement of overall health. The consumption of alcoholic beverages, such as beer, which are regularly included in daily meals but can worsen inflammation and have a direct influence on joint health, should be taken into consideration when it has been shown that fatty, salty, and fried foods have an effect on joint health. Certain alcoholic beverages, despite the fact that they are frequently consumed at meals and social gatherings, have the potential to have a subtle but significant impact on the health of the joints. It is possible for it to have an effect on the metabolism, increase the levels of uric acid, and damage the body's defenses against inflammation. Individuals who suffer from gout or chronic arthritis should be especially concerned about this matter because their bodies react more strongly to inflammatory triggers. In addition, alcohol is unhealthy for the liver, bones, and immune system, and it can reduce the efficacy of a number of medications for arthritis. The alcohol, sugar, and purines found in beer can make joint soreness worse, continue swelling for longer periods of time, and restrict range of motion. Recent studies have shown that drinking alcohol has a negative impact on immune function and brings about an increase in inflammation levels, both of which inhibit the normal healing process of joints. Therefore, it is vital to restrict or minimize the amount of beer that one consumes in order to protect joints, reduce the risk of severe inflammation, and maintain overall health. To stay hydrated and reduce joint tension, choose water, herbal teas, or natural fruit juices over heavy beer consumption. This strategy aids in lowering inflammation, easing joint discomfort, and enhancing mobility when paired with a well-balanced diet full of fruits, vegetables, and healthy meats. After taking into account how alcohol affects inflammation and joint health, one should also pay attention to rich, sweet treats like ice cream that can increase consumption of sugar and saturated fat. Although they are delicious and satisfy desires, rich and sweet sweets pose a number of hazards to joint health. When they are consumed, the body produces a lot of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which are molecules that cause inflammation and make joints uncomfortable, stiff, and swollen. Long-term inflammation impairs quality of life and decreases mobility, making ordinary tasks like walking and climbing stairs exhausting and challenging. Advanced glycation, end products ages, which fuel oxidative stress and chronic inflammatory reactions, are also triggered by the saturated fat in ice cream. These substances affect not just joints, but also immune system performance, cardiovascular health, and general metabolism. When combined with a high sugar content, they produce a vicious cycle that puts additional strain on weight-bearing joints, including the spine, hips, and knees. Inflammation rises, discomfort lingers, mobility declines, and weight gain may happen. Research indicates that consuming foods high in sugar and saturated fat on a regular basis slows the healing of joint tissues, and is associated with increased levels of oxidative stress, inflammation, and cardiovascular risk factors. This explains why eating ice cream on a daily basis can have long-term detrimental impacts on joint and general health. Even though it's a popular dessert, choose unsweetened yogurt, plant-based ice creams, or desserts with less sugar and fat in place of classic ice cream to reduce these harmful effects. You should also eat a diet high in fruits, vegetables, nutritious proteins, and good fats like nuts or olive oil. In addition to supporting cardiovascular health, strengthening immunity, and increasing energy for everyday tasks, this method helps lower inflammation, ease joint discomfort, increase mobility, and control weight. Considering how fatty and sweet meals affect joint inflammation, it's also critical to take into account processed fats, like margarine, which are frequently used in baking and cooking and can exacerbate inflammation in the body. Despite being practical and simple to use, many varieties of margarine are heavy in trans fats and other processed components, which are known to exacerbate inflammation in the body. Consuming these fats frequently might increase the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which can lead to painful, swollen joints and decreased mobility. Trans fat-induced chronic inflammation can potentially raise the risk of degeneration and delay the healing of joint tissues. Furthermore, the body needs a balanced ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids to control inflammation. But margarine frequently includes excessive levels of omega-6 fatty acids. The symptoms of arthritis may worsen and last longer if there is an imbalance that increases inflammatory reactions. According to some research, margarine's emulsifiers and chemicals may have a detrimental impact on immunological function and gastrointestinal health, which could subsequently exacerbate systemic inflammation. Healthy fat sources like flaxseed oil, olive oil, or natural nut butters can be used in place of margarine to help lower inflammation, preserve joint health, and promote cardiovascular health. This method reduces joint discomfort while also improving mobility, maintaining a healthy weight, and improving general well-being when combined with a diet high in fruits, vegetables, and nutritious proteins. The golden rule of arthritis diet is to always balance inflammatory and anti-inflammatory foods. As I mentioned at the start of the movie, many people concentrate on avoiding bad meals, but often neglect to eat enough items that reduce inflammation. This imbalance actually keeps the joints from getting adequate nutrition to heal. For instance, you should supplement with fatty fish high in omega-3 green leafy vegetables, berries, and nuts high in good fats if you try to avoid red meat and fried foods, inflammatory foods, as much as you can. These foods can suppress the inflammatory response and support healthy joints from the inside out. Regularity comes in at number 2. Many days of poor eating cannot be made up by one healthy meal here and there. Your body will progressively lessen discomfort and swelling when you follow this golden rule, which calls for reducing inflammatory foods while simultaneously increasing anti-inflammatory foods. Your joints will also be fed to preserve long-term sustainability and flexibility. In addition to making movement uncomfortable, arthritis robs you of your independence, happiness, and self-assurance in day-to-day living. The good news is that you can manage this illness by making healthy eating choices every day in addition to taking medicine. Maintaining your joints' strength and flexibility over time requires avoiding inflammatory foods and eating a balanced diet. To ensure you don't miss out on scientifically proven, easy to follow, and valuable advice on how to live a healthy, happy, and self-assured golden age. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Bond Senior Health channel if you found this video helpful. I would also like to know which of the 15 items listed today you eat the most frequently. And after watching the video, would you be open to changing your diet to better protect your joints? Post your response in the space provided for comments. Perhaps many others may find great motivation in your story. I appreciate your support and hope that you and your family continue to be strong, healthy, and happy every day.